Well, here we are. We finally reached the end of the story no one had asked for. To recap, met a cute girl, read the signs, asked her out, she said yes, woohoo! Took her to my friend's Halloween party. This was pre-COVID. And the downfall begins. Cue the typewriter. Now, keep in mind that at this point, I still have no dating experience whatsoever, so the following events weren't obvious to me. So, we roll up to the party, I've introduced her to my friends, I'm getting hugs and fist bumps as if I just got engaged. After everyone got a chance to meet her, I took her to the kitchen to get something to drink. My friends invited us to play a game, and I asked if she wanted to join. Being introverted, she declined, so she just watched. I played for about 5 minutes, then decided just to hang with her. I asked her if she wanted to go upstairs and chill with my friends, because it was really crowded downstairs. She wanted to keep talking with these people, and told me to go see my friends and we'll meet up later. Thinking nothing of it, I went upstairs to meet more of my friends. Now, of course, I want to spend time with her during the party, but one thing I learned from TV is to never cling like a leech. I didn't want to come off needy, so I let her do her thing. I'm chatting with my friends, all having a good time, but there was a constant itch in the back of my brain thinking of Lily. I'm not trying to bring the party down, so I continued to laugh along with my homies. After what felt like an hour, probably only 15 minutes, I slither myself back downstairs. I see her in the living room. I go down and see how she is. She tells me she's doing well. I say okay, and she continues her conversation. Now, me being the naive, inexperienced dater, I assume this is normal, and tried not to think much of it. She got up, went to the kitchen, and continued her conversation. I didn't want to ruin anyone's fun time or my own, so I continued to hang with my friends. An hour had passed. Then it became 2, then 3, and before I even blinked twice, the party was pretty much over. At one point, I met Lily in the living room and tried to engage in conversation in hopes that she'd want to hang out with me at this party that we came together. I put my hand on her shoulder, but she shrugged it off and walked away like I was Edward from Twilight doing this. But she reacted normally. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. She tells me she's hungry and wants to leave. We walk down to a grocery store that's still open for some reason at 3 a.m., get her some food, call her a Lyft. Uber was too expensive. Yes, you were wondering. It was gonna take about 15 minutes for the Lyft to arrive, so what do but sit on the bench next to the parking lot? And of course, what happens next is very clear given what happened throughout the night and the situations that had occurred. She rests her head on my shoulder and puts her arm around my stomach. Again, looking back, my reaction should have been, "What do you mean?" But instead, my reaction was, it didn't seem like she wanted to hang out with me at all, but once we left, it seemed like I was the only one she did want to hang out with, or at least that's how I saw it. So I'm just trying to understand these mixed messages that I'm receiving here. I'm sitting there all happy because now she decides to give me a little attention. Simple alert. I'm sitting there thinking, this is good. This is what dating is. That was only one night. During the next month, our texts were still solid, but our meetups started lacking since Halloween. I kept trying, but too much snow to travel, or a sprained ankle. Yes, the hurt ankle was real. She posted it on her Insta story, so taking her on a walk was out of the question. So far, up to this point, we've made lots of plans, hung out multiple times. 2 meals, 1 movie, many unofficial dates, and finally, it was time for our official date. It had been 17 days since I last saw her. That may not seem like too long, but for people who saw each other at least once every 2 days, it felt like a DMV lineup. I mean, think about this. If you're used to seeing your crush at school or work every day, and then you don't see them for 2.5 straight weeks, doesn't that feel like a long time? Anyway, finally, we made plans to go see Joker, and this is where our story begins to end. From the first moment of the date, something was off. I mentioned in part 1, when we saw It, we were holding hands, doing side eyes to each other, and much closer. We were nervous, trying to hold hands, trying to look at each other, but too scared to. Not this time. No, she didn't want to hold my hand. Conversation was less flirty, and she was dead set focused on the movie. It was like she was gonna turn to stone if she looked at me. I thought maybe some food would lighten the mood. I called us an Uber, and as I said in part 1, we were holding hands, just like the Teletubbies. This time, she was so cold, Canada felt like the tropical islands of Hawaii. No eye contact, just silence of the lambs. Once we're out of the Uber, because her ankle is still weak, I offered to lend a shoulder or hand. I'm good with either. I won't complain. She gave me a
I'm fine. Really?
and limped her way over to the restaurant. We went to this diner that I've never been to before. I never have again. I'll just call this place Lenny's. We sat down, ordered our breakfast for dinner, and started talking. I won't bore you with the conversation, mainly because I can't remember what we talked about, not even vaguely. However, the one thing I remember saying that started this domino downfall was, "This sucks, 'cause you're leaving. I'm gonna miss this." She looks down and says,
I have to tell you something.
My 5th sense was telling my spidey sense to beware. If you're thinking, why did she say that if she isn't going to confess? She confessed, just not the way you'd think.
I only like you as a friend.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I just wanted you to know. I'm really sorry.
Thanks for telling me.
You're taking it really well.
I mean, I understand. If you don't like me like that, it's what it is. You don't have to apologize for how you feel. I'm not gonna lie, it'll be kinda difficult for me, but I don't want you to feel guilty for feeling how you feel.
Thank you. If you have any questions, please ask.
I don't have questions. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Oh, I had questions. I was in full survival mode. I was using all my willpower not to shake my voice and keeping my eyes from filling up. I walked her to the bus, got on my bus, walked 10 minutes to my place, and once I was in my safe place, I let it all out. I didn't want her feeling any guilt for expressing her true feelings, so I held it together until I went home.
Hey, are you doing okay?
Hey, yeah, I'm doing well, thanks. You?
Good to hear. Was worried about you.
Why? That's sweet though.
You said it would be difficult for you.
I mean, yeah, but it's not like someone died.
True.
And thanks for worrying, but don't. After that, we went back to texting all normal, minus the flirtational spice. I was hoping to meet up one more time before her exchange program was over. For those who didn't watch part 1, she was an exchange student. Please watch part 1 and 2. School again was blocking me from meeting up with her, and before I knew it, winter had come. Our last goodbye was through Messenger. Now, while telling the story, Lily doesn't really have a voice, so I'm gonna give her one. First of all, please don't think badly of her. She and I weren't officially together, so she didn't do anything wrong. I was just more invested than I should have been. And to be fair, I was trying to seem cool as crystal, but in reality, I was a little too excited about us dating, and I scared her a little. Looking back now, rather than a relationship, it was more of a flirtatious friendship for innocent fun. But I was blinded and saw it as real life love is blind. Derp. Looking at it now, it was really mainly all my fault because I had too high expectations and I got too excited. Okay. Now, I'm gonna step away from the script and give this chance to just talk a little freely. I was just really invested and I liked her a lot, but it was probably more the idea of someone liking me rather than just getting to know her as well. I'm not angry, but I'm actually really grateful. Because honestly, my first dating experience, even though it didn't end with a happily ever after, it was still a really great experience and I had a great time getting to know Lily. In fact, she's actually one of the reasons that I am who I am today. She was one of the biggest impacts in my life and was the greatest reason for making me who I am today. Because of this experience, I became more independent, more aware, a little less naive, and I was able to have a little bit more self-respect for myself. I'm really thankful for this experience, and I learned so much from it. I know how they say how everything happens for a reason, and I think this is a really prime example of that saying. Because of this, after going through that heart-wrenching pain, I came out of it stronger, healthier, and more strong-minded. I'm in a better place now. I can feel proud that I was able to come out of that storm. I just want to say thank you for giving me a chance. It really helped carve a path to where I am today. I want to say thanks for being so understanding, so being so kind to me, and letting me down gently. Thank you, most importantly, for being honest with me. It was really great getting to know you. And I hope you're alright during this pandemic and things are going well. So now, with this final part, I'm now closing the chapter on that part of my life, looking up and walking forward again.